This is where people go to die. Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Abby Aspen and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be starting a new series, Where Shall We Live? Our first stop takes us down to the sunny seaside town of Hastings.
Hastings is a town in East Sussex, UK, most famous for the Battle of 1066 between King Harold and William the Conqueror, even though it actually happened down the road in a place called, well, Battle, really some inventive naming there. It's now inhabited by 100,000 people and it's gaining attention because basically no one can afford to live in London or Brighton anymore.
We really whittled it down into 4 main criteria. We had the cost, we had the feel or the vibe, we had the outdoorsiness, and then at the time we had sort of connectivity, access to London, that sort of thing. Number 1 is cost. So the cost of we were looking at a 1-bed flat on our own. Looking at Rightmove, it was about £600 to £1,100 for a 1-bed flat. It averaged about £800. When you compare this to London, prices were more between £1,600 and £3,000 per month, and Brighton was more the £1,000 to £1,600. So you can see that Hastings comes in sort of markedly lower than the other two. The second thing we were looking for was the feel or the vibe or whatever you'd like to call it. And when we went to Hastings, it was actually really lovely. People were kind, they were nice. There's an old and a new town. So the new town is a bit more, you know, where shops, kind of general chain shops would be. And the old town is where sort of smaller businesses, really cool, really amazing ice cream shops. And then you go into like the fishing huts and where you can buy fresh fish, and it's definitely got that seaside town vibe. The next thing we look for is sort of how outdoorsy, how accessible the outdoors is. It's got this amazing hill at the back of the town, and you can walk right up it. There was no one there on a Saturday. I think we met like 3 people, mainly with dogs. But you know, you can get out quite easily to the countryside. One really cool thing about Hastings is it's right by the sea. It's definitely something that really drew us to there. One point that is to be noticed is that it doesn't have a climbing wall, which made me a bit sad. Another thing that we thought about was connections. So it was a couple of hours train, I think 2.5 maybe, to London. And when we were making these decisions, London had to be commutable. Although I have to admit that trains in the UK are super expensive. It's about £35 open return from London to Hastings. What was the verdict in the end? I have to admit, after going to Hastings, I came back and had a bit of a freak out. I think going to a very slightly sleepy seaside town in the UK just really, I think the phrase I used was, this is where people go to die, which was a bit dramatic, I know, but I think that at 32, I just felt that if we were going to move out of London to somewhere maybe a bit quieter, there would just be a bit more wild, a bit more going on. I wasn't sure, it just didn't feel, I'm not quite ready. And we actually realised that some of the reasons why we chose Hastings, so it's close to London, it's cheaper than Brighton and Margate in London, weren't really, they're a bit wet fart reasons to choose somewhere. You should choose somewhere because you want to go and live there, not because it's cheaper than somewhere else. I think we realised that maybe we were using the wrong criteria to choose a place. I would give Hastings a really strong 6 or 7 out of 10 in terms of affordability, people, stuff going on. You know, the sea's close, you can get out quickly. It's got all the good things, but it lacks an edge to it that I think I'm looking for. I don't know if anyone else has realised, but my dirty washing is right over my shoulder. Hey, our first stop takes us. When it gets